The following announcement is brought to you by the makers of Lipton Soup.
Folks, in this, the crisis of the war, all of us want to back our boys in the attack. Here's one way of doing it. Support the Fifth War Loan and buy more bonds than before.
Put across the Fifth War Loan. When you buy bonds, buy double. Rinso presents Big Sister. Yes, there's the clock in Glen Falls Town Hall telling us it's time for Rinso's story of Big Sister. The warm sun is pouring through the open window of Ruth Wayne Big Sister's hotel room. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. John is lying on the bed reading, or at least pretending to read, and Ruth is at a small desk writing a letter, or at least she's trying to write a letter. Ruth?
Mm-hmm.
You almost through?
No, not quite, John.
Want to read me what you've written so far?
Mm-hmm. I've only written 2 sentences.
It's as bad as that.
Well, it isn't very good. But I'll read you what I've written.
Okay.
Richard, darling, this morning when I got up, do you know the first thing that I thought of? I must write a letter to Richard. And do you know what else I thought of? I thought, well, it won't be long now, another year or 2 at the most, and Richard won't have to have Neddy reading my letters to him. He'll be able to read them for himself.
We're gone.
I'm afraid I've reached the end of the line.
Oh.
Not much to say after sitting at the desk 15 minutes, is it? Oh, dear, I never was good at letter writing.
Oh. I always thought you were very good at it.
Now you know better.
Ruth, darling, do you know something?
What?
We're getting into a bad habit.
Are we?
Mm-hmm. A very bad habit. The habit of not saying what we mean.
I don't follow you.
Well, there's nothing wrong with your ability to write interesting and readable letters. But you can't write that letter to Richard because the kid wants to know when we're coming home. And that's the one question we can't answer. Huh? Isn't that so, Ruth?
Well, yes, I suppose it would be a help if I could name a definite date.
Help? It'd make all the difference in the world. And since we're playing this truth and consequence game, let's follow through, shall we? Or at least, let me follow through.
What now, John?
There's no reason in the world for the 2 of us to be staying at this hotel. Has that ever occurred to you?
No.
Well, it should. It should have occurred to you a long time ago.
John, I'm afraid I don't understand you.
Look, the only sensible thing for you to do is to go home.
But, John, I thought...
Ruth, isn't it true that there's no practical purpose accomplished by your staying here? Isn't it true that now there's really no reason for you to stay away from Richard?
I don't see that at all.
You mean you do, but you don't want to admit it.
Johnny, I don't know how we got started on all this, but... Tell me something, will you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to go home?
Frankly?
Of course.
No.
Well, that's what I
But
thought.
that's no reason for you to stay around.
But you're wrong, John.
Oh, Ruth, darling, I shouldn't be so dependent on you.
Now, that's nonsense.
Well, I don't think it is. Ruth, you miss Richard and you miss
Now, wait a
Neddy.
minute, dear.
Well, I see no reason at all.
No, now, wait. Let me speak my little piece. Huh?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Now, this is going to be one of those in the first place and in the second place little speeches. And you better watch out, or I may have a third or fourth point to add.
Well, let's have the first point.
Right. Now, I think it's ridiculous for you to talk about being dependent on me. I think it's silly for you to want to see this thing through alone.
But, Ruth,
Now, I still have the floor, John. I'm not through by a long shot. Darling, let's not mince words. This is a painful, trying ordeal you're facing. And it would be unfair and unthinking and unwifelike for me to walk out on you.
But, Ruth, darling, I don't think so.
Well, I do. And I'm sure if you thought about it a little while longer, you'd think so, too. Certainly I miss little Richard. So do you.
Yes, I know. That's all very well, but...
Now listen. Neither of us is here because we want to be here. And neither of us should leave before this thing is settled.
I know, but...
You say you want me here. I want you to want me here. Well, of course I miss Richard. My goodness, I'd miss you a lot more if I went back to Glen Falls. Now, let's have no more discussion about it, shall we, Joe?
All right, Ruth. We won't. But don't think I'm not grateful.
That word grateful I never liked.
Well, nevertheless...
Now, darling, if you start thanking me for staying here or any such nonsense, you're going to make me acutely uncomfortable. I'm sure you wouldn't want to do that.
No, darling. I wouldn't want to make you acutely uncomfortable. Matter of fact, I'd give a great deal if I could make you comfortable.
Now, don't worry about me.
Oh, but I am.
But you shouldn't be.
Ruth, one of these days, I'm going to make up to you for all this.
And I don't like that.
Why not?
Because it implies there's something you have to make up for.
There is.
But there isn't. You couldn't have helped what happened any more than I could. And it's perfectly ridiculous for you to feel a sense of guilt.
Yeah. That's it.
What's it?
That sense of guilt. That corrosive sense of guilt. Oh, Ruth, when I think there was a time when... I'm sorry. I'd better take it easy. Don't look so worried, Ruth.
I'm not. Why do you smile?
Well, not because I'm amused. But, Ruth, hearing you say you're not worried...
You think I'm lying?
No. I think you're being tactful.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it? Well, I'm not being tactful. I said I wasn't worried, and I meant it. Of course, things aren't the way I'd like them to be. But I will tell you this. I was a lot more worried before we got here than I am now.
Well, I can't think of anything that's happened since we got here that should be reassuring. There's only one trouble with you, Ruth.
Only one?
Mm-hmm. Only one. And it isn't a trouble, exactly.
Well, come on, let's have it. What is it?
You're not a good actor. You say you're not worried. But right at this very moment, you're plenty worried. And I'll tell you what you're worried about. Or don't I have to?
Oh, you better tell me.
Well, it's 1:35. I'm due at the Midwestern General Hospital at 2 o'clock. Should have been on my way to see Hollis Travers long before this. Why didn't you say something about it?
I didn't think I had to, John. I knew you hadn't forgotten about your appointment.
Oh, yes, but you could see me stalling.
Well, I knew you weren't eager to keep the appointment. I also knew you would keep it. You are going to keep it, aren't you, John? Why don't you answer me? Oh, darling, I want to get home to see Richard, and so do you. But if we keep putting
You're right.
off...
Yes, you're right. You're always right. Don't worry, I'll go see Hollis. In fact, I'll go there right now.
John.
Hello, Hollis.
Come in.
Thank you.
Let me have your hat.
I'm sorry I'm late.
I was worried you wouldn't come, but now that you're here, it doesn't matter.
Where's Miss Stone?
She'll be here later. Do you mind being alone with me?
What? Oh, why should I?
You shouldn't, but I thought you looked panicky for a minute when I... John, look at me.
Well, what's the matter?
You haven't once looked at me since you came in. Why do you do that, John?
Hollis.
After all, if we're to reach an understanding, if we two...
Hollis, don't do that.
Don't do what?
I'm here for a definite purpose. We came here to...
Yes, John. Why did we come here?
Well, to talk about... Well, the things that happened to us.
All right, John. Let's talk about it. But this time, let me talk about myself. I've been talking about you all this time. Now let me tell you about myself.
Hollis,
Let me tell you how it feels, John, to have you so close and yet to know you're so far away. Especially after those days down on that island in the South Pacific. Those horrible and at the same time wonderful days. when we were as close together as two people ever could be.
Hollis, I'm afraid...
What is it, John?
Well, this is a mistake.
Why, John? Why is it a mistake? Does it make you uncomfortable when I talk this way?
I think it makes us both uncomfortable.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. And it shouldn't do that for you.
Hollis, we've a job to do.
Of course we have.
Well, let's get to it.
I will, John. I will in just a minute. John, is there any doubt in your mind that I want to see you get well?
Hollis, I don't think...
Nobody wants to see you get well any more than I do. I've more at stake than anyone else. John, take me in your arms.
What? Are you out of your mind?
Sometimes I wonder. Put your arms around me, John. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll make you remember. Put your arms around me, John, please.
Stop it, Hollis.
Everything else has failed. Maybe this will help you remember what happened down on that island. And what we once meant to each other. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sound bitter. But I can't help it, John. I love you.
Hollis, stop it. Stop it, I tell you.
Do you think I can? John, darling, listen to me.
Now, look, Hollis.
John, ever since I've been separated from you, I've had a sense of incompleteness. John, look at me. I've heard other men say that I'm beautiful. I must have seemed beautiful to you at one time. Put your arms around me, John. Kiss me.
Shall we go on with what we came for, Hollis? This nonsense has gone far enough.
Nonsense? Do you really think it's nonsense, John?
Well, now, what do you think it is?
I know what it is, John, but you don't. You're running away from something. John, listen carefully, my dear. You want to know why you're here. You want to know the real reason. It's because you want to recapture the happiness you had when you knew your own mind and were in love with me.
Stop it, Hollis.
Why do you want me to stop it?
This is ridiculous.
No, John, it isn't. John, don't be afraid to face the truth. Don't be afraid to look back. That's why you're having all this trouble, because you're afraid.
I'm not afraid of anything.
Then why did you ask for Miss Stone the minute you came in?
Well, all right, because...
The other day, when I suggested that you leave Ruth home alone, why did you agree? I'll tell you why. Because without your being aware of it, you wanted something like this to happen. You wanted to be alone with me. Isn't that true, John?
And now there's a long pause, and there's no sound in the room except the sound of the clock on the mantelpiece of Miss Stone's apartment. The clock that ticked eagerly, as if it hurried forever forward, like a child towards some imagined joy.
Well, it's come at last. The news we've all been waiting for. D-Day and the Allied invasion of Hitler's fortress Europe. And so, to our prayers for a speedy victory. Let's add our mightiest efforts to help win this war.
If you are an unemployed woman, single, or a non-farm housewife with no small children, there's a place and a need for you in war work. If we're to meet our war production goals, and we must meet them if we are to win the war, hundreds of thousands of women must get into war work this year. If you've been thinking about entering war work, remember, most war jobs are no heavier than ordinary household tasks. And remember, too, you'll be doing an important job for our country. Go to your local United States employment office and find where you are needed most. Do it now, today. We'll meet you again at Big Sisters tomorrow. This is Jim Amici speaking for Soapy Rich Rinso.
The town of Glen Falls and the names of all characters used on the broadcast are fictitious. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Big Sister, the story of Ruth Wayne and her problems as a woman, as well as a nurse, a wife, and a mother. Today's episode in just a moment, after this message from our sponsor.
Hello?
Reed, this is Ruth.
Yes, Ruth. What is it?
I'm awfully sorry to bother you at this hour, but it's Mrs. Melanchik.
What's wrong?
She's in pain, bad pain.
How long now?
I'm not sure. She didn't call me, but I woke up a few minutes ago and heard her. I didn't want to wake Dr. Carville. He gets little enough sleep as it is, but...
Well, I'm glad you called me. I'll be right over.
Almost 2 in the morning. It's been a difficult day for Ruth Wayne, big sister, coming after several days of shocks and unpleasant surprises. So it is little wonder that her face is drawn as she hears Reed's car pull up and hurries to open the door.
Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Reed. I'm sorry to call you at this hour.
Forget it. I told you I was glad you did, instead of waking Dr. Carville. When did it start?
I don't really know. I woke up a little after 1, heard her moaning and talking in her sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go in at first, thought it might be a nightmare. Then I realized it wasn't.
Almost an hour, huh? Is she conscious?
No, not really. Her mind is wandering a little. I didn't want to wake her. I knew if I did, she'd only deny the whole thing, say she was fine.
Mm-hmm. Let's go up.
Is this significant, Reed? This sudden increase in pain? Does it mean...
Well, it's a little hard to tell, Ruth. I'll have to wait until I see her.
Hello, Mrs. Melanchik.
Sophie. Is that be you, Sophie?
No, Mrs. Melanchik. It's Ruth Wayne.
She is wandering. Doesn't realize.
Who is that come with you, Sophie? Who will take you out? Where you go so late?
It's all right, Mrs. Melanchik. Really it is.
It's not all right, Sophie. It's not. How can I make you understand? I want only one thing in the world. You should be happy. But this child you are yet is only for you, I tell you this. Because I love you. Because you, my Sophie, is all I got in the whole world.
You mustn't worry about it, Mrs. Melanchik. Everything's going to be all right.
Oh, so nice, your hand, Sophie. Will really be all right. Maybe yes. Because this is first time you ever... Miss Wayne, is you?
Yes, Mrs. Melanchik. And Dr. Bannister.
Hello, Mrs. Melanchik. How are you?
Oh, fine. Still a little tired, but what you do here? It's already tomorrow.
No, not quite.
Tomorrow. Oh, look. It's dark outside. It's night. Late. What time?
A little after 2.
2 o'clock. Why you be up so late, Miss Wayne? And you, Dr. Bannister, you still not tell me why you are here.
Why, you didn't seem to be sleeping, Mrs. Melanchik. I didn't think you were feeling very well.
You mean I wake you up? You make Dr. Bannister come all the way over here. Oh, why you do that, Miss Wayne?
I wanted to take a look at you, Mrs. Melanchik, see what was bothering you.
It's nothing bother me, Doctor. Nothing. Except I make you so much trouble. You, Miss Wayne. Oh, maybe I have bad dream, talk in sleep.
Well, that's possible. How do you feel?
Oh, fine. I tell you before, fine. Still a little tired.
That's all? No more pain than you had before?
No. Nothing. I feel very good.
Well, what about right here?
No, Doctor. It's all right. Not hurt. Not even little bit.
Would you like a little water, Mrs. Melanchik?
What? Oh, yes. Little water be fine. I get little thirsty.
Here you are.
Oh, thank you, Miss Wayne. Thank you very much. Oh, what you be doing there, Doctor?
Oh, this is just a hypodermic. You've seen them before, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I am see. I never have.
Oh, would you bend your arm a little?
Huh?
That's right. Now, this isn't going to hurt, just... There we are. As a matter of fact, if you have been feeling uncomfortable, this will help you sleep.
Sleep. That is all I am doing now. Sleep. Sleep more last few days than whole life before.
If you are, it's because you need it. We'll leave you now, Mrs. Melanchik. I'm going to see Dr. Bannister to the door, and then I'll be back in my room. And if there's anything you want...
Nothing, Miss Wayne. I not want nothing. I'm all of a sudden feeling very, very good. I think maybe I will sleep.
The story of Big Sister will continue after this message from our sponsor.
What do you think, Reed?
She's bad, Ruth. Really quite bad. A lot of pain. Even though she keeps fighting it, won't admit it.
I know. If you only knew how awful I feel about it, how attached to her I've become.
Well, it's going to be worse, Ruth. You've got to face that. She's going to need a lot more attention. I'll call the registry tomorrow and get a nurse over here.
Oh, no, Reed, you can't do that. At least, well, I'd rather you didn't.
Why not?
You know how she is, shy and timid. She's gotten used to me. Possibly because she feels that there's some connection between me and Hope. Her Sophie. And I think she likes me. But if someone else came in, a stranger, particularly a nurse, I'm afraid it would frighten her. Make her realize just how sick she really is. I've been taking care of her. I'd like to go on taking care of her.
Oh, certainly. By all means. I've got a couple of serious cases over at the county hospital. Wouldn't you like to take them over, too?
Why, Reed.
Ruth, just who do you think you are, anyway? How much responsibility do you think you can assume, and go on assuming? First of all, for yourself and Richard, ever since John left, and because he left. Then responsibility for John, trying to get him straightened out. Then for Dr. Carville, his health and state of mind, as well as your regular work at the office. Then Nettie, and now Mrs. Melanchik. A full-time nursing job as well as everything else. Are you sure you don't want me to pick up a few more little chores for you, Ruth, just to fill up your day?
Do you really have to go home tonight, Reed? Why don't you stay here in Diane's old room? And then you can sleep a little later in the morning. You do look awfully tired. And...
That's right. Me. We forgot all about that, didn't we? Another little thing to worry about. The friend and colleague. That would just be about the last straw, wouldn't it? And... Oh, I'm sorry, Ruth. I am a little tired. But that's not the reason I let go like that. It's just that it's all been bottled up for so long now. So many things. Feeling as I do about you and worrying about you, the way you've been driving yourself. And about her.
I know, Reed. And I appreciate it. For myself and for Mrs. Melanchik.
About 2 o'clock in the morning in Glen Falls and in New York. Alone in his small apartment on Washington Square, John Wayne is not asleep either. Sitting at a desk near the window, pen in hand, he stares out at the dark city, and then at the sheet of paper in front of him. Then abruptly he begins to write,
Ruth, my dearest, I don't know why I'm writing this. Perhaps when I'm finished, I will. I'm tired physically, but my brain is wound up like an 8-day clock. Things keep coming back to me. Memories, mostly. And since they all concerned you, before I knew it, I found myself at my desk. Possibly the analysis, my visits to Dr. Foster have something to do with it. This business of reliving things with a past. Oh, if you were here, my darling, I know what you would say. John, of course it's slow and it's painful, difficult. But isn't it that way with everything that's worthwhile? Well, you're not here, you're far away, and it suddenly occurs to me that what I'm doing really is practicing. Practicing to see if, when the time comes, I ever will be able to come back to you. Bridge building, if you like. This is a good test, putting it all down in black and white. But if I can write it, does that still mean that I could ever say it all to you? I don't know. I just know that thinking of you this way, I feel better than I did. Better, stronger, and not quite so alone.
Pausing, John Wayne reads over what he has written. Then, just as he seems about to continue, he catches himself. A grim smile on his lips. He folds the letter carefully, tears it in small pieces, and drops them in the wastebasket. And now, a message from our sponsor. Join us next time on Big Sister. John Scott speaking. Big Sister is a modern drama production.
The story of Myrt and Marge. Myrt and Marge is a story of Broadway. A story that goes beyond the lights of the gay white way into the lives of two chorus girls. Two girls from the cast of that most glittering of all Broadway extravaganzas, Hayfield's Pleasures. The house lights go down, the footlights come on. In a moment, the curtain will go up on the first chapter in the story of Myrt and Marge. And now let's step across the footlights and go backstage at the famous Hayfield Theater just off Times Square. Here are gathered all the multifold human elements that go into the making of a great musical comedy. The stars and the stagehands, the ultra-gorgeous showgirls, the comedians, the singers, and last but not least, the 24 pert and pretty members of Hayfield's renowned Precision Chorus, the Chick Chicks. It's one of the last rehearsals before the opening of a new glamour-packed edition of Hayfield's Pleasure. From the wings, a man is coming on stage. It's the producer of the show, the man whose stage magic has thrilled millions, the great Francis Hayfield himself. Listen, he's calling to his stage director, Ray Hunt.
Oh, Ray. I say, Ray Hunt.
Yes, I'll be right there. Quiet. Quiet, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Hayfield.
Morning, Ray. How do things look?
Well, they're rounding out pretty well, but I've got to tone down the temperament of some of these newcomers.
You're right. This is no season for temperament. By the way, is Dixie Lane showing any improvement this season?
Well, her voice is still good, but she's taken on weight. However, she'll be box office for at least another season.
What are you doing this morning, Hunt?
I'm going to work with the principals on dialogue.
Say, that's a pretty fair voice. Who is it?
That's your South American beauty, Elena. A gorgeous creature, but I'm afraid I'm going to have some trouble with her.
What's the matter with her?
Oh, very erratic and man-conscious.
You'd better handle her without gloves. And how do my Chick Chicks look?
Well, they line up about the same, but I've got to discipline those kids. I'm afraid you pamper them too much, Mr. Hayfield.
Well, why not? We generally get results.
Well, there seems to be some dissension. A little rough stuff going on down in the chorus room. Arguments, bickering.
There must be a man in the case.
Well, I put Myrtle Spear to work on them this morning to polish off the rough edges and keep them on their toes.
Myrt's a great girl, Ray. Been with us a long time. Almost a fixture.
And always reliable.
Just look at those kids. Like a bunch of frisky colts. Well, keep an eye on things, Ray. I want to go back and look at that new Auburn set. I'll see you later.
Right. Well, Myrtle Spear. You too, Clarence.
Practically there, Mr. Hunt. Oh, and here I am, right on the beam. What do you wish?
Well, have the girls all had their measurements?
Oh, yes, Mr. Hunt. I've measured them from head to toe.
Myrtle, I've got to work with the principal, so I want you to take the girls through a letter number.
Oh, right away, Mr. Hunt. Come on, you Chick Chicks. Letter number, Tommy.
Ready, Myrt?
Oh, quiet, please, girls. We're going to run through the letter number. Line up, please. Make it fast. You act like a bunch of old ladies. That's right. Now, listen to me. Ray Hunt says we've got to be perfect on these routines by Saturday. Remember, there's no break-in out of town this year. We open cold next week.
So let's give the folks on Broadway something to rave about. What do you say, kids? Atta chickens. All right, positions. Come on, dress your line. More to the left there, Gwen.
Oh, there?
That's it, Scramble Skull. Hey, back up in your stall now. Just a pick up, Tommy. Oh, come on, Billy DeVere. Get in the groove. This is a rehearsal.
Oh, what's the rush, Myrt? I haven't had any breakfast.
Oh, you can smoke it after rehearsal.
Oh, no.
Music, maestro, please. Lead into the tap chorus, girls. Count your time and let's go. Girls, God gave us 2 feet, one left and one right. Now start with the left.
Then will that be right, Myrtle?
That'll be right, Gwen. Now dig me, kid.
I wish someone would dig you under, honey.
Oh, Billy, quit razzing Myrtle. We'll be here for hours.
All right, girls. Take it, Tommy. Rogers, can't you keep on your feet?
Oh, gee, Myrt, I couldn't help it. I slipped and fell down.
Well, get up off your brains and get in line. L-I-N-E, line. All right, start her over, Tommy. Hold everything. One of the prima donnas is still stalling. What's eating you, Ann?
I've got a sore toe.
Well, ain't that something? How come?
Well, there's a nail in my shoe.
Just a stall to get out of rehearsal, that's all.
Billy, you're a hard-hearted wench.
Well, that's all it is.
Listen, Myrt, my whole foot hurts. Look at it. It's all red and swollen. I'm awfully worried.
Let me see. Does look bad, Ann. Gee, I'm sorry. What do you want to do?
Well, I'll try and do the best I can.
Okay. Let's try it again, Tommy. Same thing over. No stopping this time, kids. Break a leg if you must, but don't stop. What a life. Runs by fits and starts.
Oh, here comes Mr. Hunt. We're going to get reprehended.
Oh, Miss Spear.
Yes, Mr. Hunt.
Well, Hayfield has suggested that you sing a chorus of that number during the business before the tap routine.
Oh.
You can step on a line and take the stage.
Oh, thanks a lot, Mr. Hunt. I'll sure do my best. Gee, that's swell. Listen, girls, I'm going to sing in this man's show. How do you cats like that?
This I gotta hear.
Don't worry, dearie. You will.
Oh, spread your wings and make like a B-29, Clarence. You bother me.
Oh, Myrt, my foot just hurts worse than ever. I just can't stand it.
Oh, drop out of line, Ann. Gee, that's tough. Go ask Ray Hunt if you can be excused. You better see a doctor, honey. Don't forget tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock call.
I'll be here, Myrt.
Well, that you's for the rumba number. Hurry back up on stage. Hey, Tommy, would you mind taking me through that number I'm going to do? Let's try one chorus. Just give me the pickup, huh?
I beg your pardon. Miss Spear.
Hold it, Tommy. Oh, hello. Didn't see you. What can I do for you, kid?
May I speak to you for a minute?
Well, sure you can. I'm glad to give my feet a break. I've been on the hook so long I feel like a wax summoning her away from China. Oh, what's on your mind, kid?
Well, I suppose I should have gone to Mr. Hunt, but he's so busy. I've been here every day for 2 weeks, and he hasn't even looked at me. He told me the first day to sit over on the sidelines with the other extras, and he might place me, but it looks rather hopeless for me now with the show opening so soon.
Well, you sure had some weight.
He looked so kind of nice and friendly. I thought you might tell me if there's any use in waiting any longer. Besides,
Well, what's your name, little girl?
Margie Myrt. I'm 16 and
Oh, Tommy! Boy, somebody quick! The kid's fainted. Get some water. Hurry up. Oh, Hurry, Tommy. Give me that glass. Here, drink this. There now. She's opening her eyes. Oh, the poor baby. There now, honey. How do you feel? You all right now?
I'm all right now, I guess. I don't know why I did it. Maybe because
You what?
I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, you poor little thing. When did you eat last?
Well, I had an apple yesterday.
Oh, the doggone. Poor child. Say, kid, you park yourself over there on a chair until rehearsal's over. And oh, no, that's too long to wait. Say, Tommy, let me have a 5-spot until after rehearsal, will you?
Yeah.
Thanks. Here, baby, take this 5-spot and go out and get yourself a big meal. Down the line from soup to nuts. Right across the street from the theater, there's a good place.
No, I couldn't take it. I couldn't.
Well, you will take it. Go on now. Fill up your tummy and come back here in the morning.
Oh, Miss Spear, I don't want you to do this for me.
Are you sure you feel all right now?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks so much.
Goodbye, Margie. See you in the morning. Poor baby. Just think, boy, she fainted from hunger. Oh, I shouldn't have let her go out alone. Well, she's gone. I wonder if she'll come back. I wonder. All right, girls, rumba number. Listen, ladies of the ensemble, you don't know how lucky we are. There was a young girl about 16 looking for work right here on the stage just a minute ago. Now get this, girls. In this day and age, the kid does a fade out. She fainted from hunger. Poor kid. All right, Tommy, the rumba number. Make an entrance, girls. Business after Elena's song. 3 choruses right through. No stops. And listen, you dames, drop that lead and oil up your hips. You know, this is the number the Broadway Wolves pay $25 a seat for opening night. Now, let's go.
That's the beginning. A little girl named Margie Mitter faints from hunger and is befriended by Myrtle Spear, a seasoned chorus girl who knows all the answers. What brought the young girl to the theater? And will she come back? You'll see as this exciting story, the story of Myrt and Marge, continues to unfold.
Concentrated Super Suds in the Blue Box presents Myrt and Marge. The world of the theater and the world of life, and the story of 2 women who seek fame in the one and contentment in the other. Brought to you by the makers of Concentrated Super Suds in the Blue Box. But first, let's listen in on the conversation.
Say, Margie, when I passed Nell's house this morning, there were several women on her back porch.
Myrtle. Then today's the day Nell is proving it.
Proving what, Margie?
Proving that her old washing machine can wash clothes just as white and bright as the newer machines her neighbors own. You see, Myrtle, I introduced Nell to Concentrated Super Suds in the Blue Box because she blamed her dull, dingy washes on her old washing machine. But now she knows that the lazy soap she used caused all the trouble. My, but she's proud of the washes Concentrated Super Suds gives her. She says they're the whitest and brightest in the whole neighborhood.
Oh, I'm sure they are, because Concentrated Super Suds is guaranteed best. Guaranteed to give better results than any make of washing machine. And for tub washing, too.
Yes, and remember, Myrt, Concentrated Super Suds in the blue box is made with Pyrade, a new wonder-working soap ingredient that gives Concentrated Super Suds far greater washing power and enables it to give you 5 great wash day advantages. More suds, whiter, quicker, safer washes with far less work.
And friends, surely you want whiter, brighter clothes. The kind Concentrated Super Suds turns out every wash day, whether you use tub or washing machine. So make your next wash day the easiest and most successful ever. Use Concentrated Super Suds in the blue box, the soap guaranteed best in tub or machine. Listen for Concentrated Super Suds guarantee, which Dell will explain following today's program.
And now, Myrt and Marge. Myrt and Marge have returned to New York and have started work on the Myrt Theater Group project with Rellerton White. Myrt, anxious to see their new work absorbing Marge's interest so that she may forget Lee Kirby, is delighted with the speed with which White has worked. But yesterday, Clarence told Marge about White's strange carelessness in paying a personal tailor's bill from the theater bank account. A bit of information which made Marge thoughtful. Today, we must go to the 49th Street Theater to find the girls. As we enter the stage door alley, we find Clarence alone and, believing himself unobserved, pacing up and down in a curious frenzy.
Perfectly ridiculous for me to feel so timid about it. There's no reason why I shouldn't ask him to give me a chance at it. It'd certainly be better than some of those hams they've been hearing. I could do it beautifully. I know I could. Bella. Bella. No matter what happens, I shall always adore you.
Well, Clarence, having a good time?
Oh, hello, Bella. Jimmy. How are you?
Not practicing up for another lecture, are you?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Just talking to myself about something.
Oh, it's a bad habit, Clarence. It indicates insanity.
Huh? Oh, no, it doesn't, Jimmy.
Especially when you make strange gestures.
No, that's an exploded theory.
Well, I hope you're right for your sake.
So do I.
Myrtle and Margie still inside?
Yes, indeed.
What's going on?
Oh, tryouts. They're picking the rest of the cast.
Well, do you think it's okay for me to go on in?
Oh, sure. We're taking a short breathing spell at the moment, giving the next fellow a little extra time to study the scene he's to read. Go right on in.
Okay, thanks.
All right,
Oh, Myrtle.
Jimmy Kent. When did you get here?
Just this minute. Not interrupting anything, am I?
Oh, not a bit. We're almost through. Just one more actor to audition. Stick around.
I intend to. Where's Margie?
Sitting out front. Going to stay in town for dinner, Jimmy?
Oh, longer than that.
Yes?
I told you I wasn't going to stay out in Old Port this winter, so here I am.
You didn't let any grass go under your feet, did you? But, Jimmy, what did you do about that...
Oh, good afternoon, Kent. Glad to see you. Put it right here.
Hello, Mr. White. How are you?
Oh, here now. None of that mister stuff. Brelly to you, my boy. Just plain Brelly. Well, thought you'd drop in and see if your 5,000 is producing any action, did you?
Hey, Brellerton.
What's the matter?
Don't say anything about Jimmy's money. I told you that.
Oh, yes, I know. But Margie can't possibly hear us.
Somebody else might. The rest of the cast knows he's one of our backers. Margie will hear about it. Actors don't keep secrets.
Oh, well, nobody heard me. But we're getting things in fine shape, Jimmy. Yes, sir. Thanks to that check of yours, we're off to a quick start. Listen, you're not going to regret this little investment, not for a single minute.
I'm sure I won't. But I think Myrtle's right. As long as there are any others around, let's pretend I have no connection with you or the company.
Sure. But you rest assured, as a friend of Myrtle's, you're always welcome around the theater, or should I say, as a friend of Marge's.
Okay, Brelly, let's dip it.
Oh, anytime you want to drop up to my place, just come along and see how things are going. Come right ahead. Always glad to answer any questions.
Right.
Say, wait a minute. What's Ross holding this up for anyhow? Why doesn't he tell this next guy to go ahead? I want to get out of here before 5.
You can't expect a man to read a part until he knows what the character's about, Brad.
I know, but I've got other things to do, Myrtle. I can't waste all day just hearing actors.
Now, Bee, there's nothing more important than casting. Better let Ken run this his own way.
Oh, I'll be tactful, Myrt, but I crave action.
And he's going to get action regardless, eh, Myrtle?
Greatest little fellow on earth for getting things done I've ever seen. Oh, wish I had more experience in lying, Jimmy. I feel like a guilty school kid every time Margie asks about the financial setup.
Oh, I know. How is she, Myrtle? Pepped up about this now that it's actually started?
Yes, Jimmy. Not quite the way she used to be about a new show, but she will be before long, I'm sure.
Beginning to forget about Lee a little?
Well, coming back to the Sister-Ruths Hotel didn't help any.
Yeah, I thought of that after you left the other day.
But she's found a new apartment for us, and we'll be moving about the 1st. That'll help a lot.
Sure. And a few more days around the theater like this?
Dr. O'Mara was right, Jimmy. This is exactly what she needed.
Oh, Myrtle, we're ready for you.
Okay, relative. Here I go, Jimmy. I've got to run through the scene again with this new fellow. Go on up with Margie, why don't you?
Okay, where is she?
She's sitting out front in the back row. Go right through that door behind the switchboard.
Right. Mind if I join you, Margie?
Why, Jimmy. Where did you come from?
Oh, I just wandered in. Thought I'd like to see how the Myrt Theater group's progressing.
Oh, it's progressing all right. Or was until just a few minutes ago. We've got all the cast except this one part.
Is it all right to talk here?
Oh, Jimmy, perhaps you better go out in the lobby.
Oh, sure.
Why are you standing there like a stick?
Oh, now, we can talk all we want to out here.
Yes. Now, what are you in town for?
Oh, I'm an old New Yorker now. This is my home.
Are you serious?
It's a fact. The great metropolis just couldn't get along without me any longer.
What are you talking about?
Remember that meeting at the factory I had to go to the day you folks left Oldport?
Yes, of course.
Well, that was an extremely important meeting for me. Changed my life completely, uprooted me, and cast me forth upon the broader seas of business.
Well, come on, tell me, won't you?
Well, the management board of J.W. Kent and Company has, in its infinite wisdom, seen fit to appoint Mr. J.W. Kent II as a special sales representative for the metropolitan area. So, effective today, I'm attached to the New York sales office.
Jimmy, I didn't know you had a New York office.
Oh, absolutely. Corner of Madison Avenue and 44th Street. It hasn't had a very spectacular record of success. That's why they sent me here to sort of stir things up a bit.
Oh, putting it right up to you, are they?
Yeah, local bear must make good if he wants to stay here. And he does.
Well, did you know they were thinking of sending you here?
Well, it's been in the wind for some time. It's an old Kent maxim, never count your chickens before they've hatched. Very original. Been in the family for years.
Oh, you crazy. When are you moving in?
I have already. I'm now installed in a very comfortable room at the Yale Club, a permanent part of the local scenery. Oh, which brings up a point.
Yes?
Well, you may not realize it, but I'm practically a stranger here in town. So I shall need help, solace, guidance, and companionship until I know my way around.
Having come into New York only about twice every week since your earliest childhood, you don't know your way around at all.
Exactly. Hey, look. They're all through.
Oh, well, we better go back inside.
Let me get the door for you.
Thanks. Oh, seems as though they want to give him the part, Jimmy. Ken Ross is going over to talk to him. I guess he's in.
Okay, everybody, that's all for today. Be sure to see Mr. Ross before you leave, though. Okay.
Come on, Jimmy.
All right.
Say, Margie.
Yes?
Margie, I almost forgot. I want you and Myrtle to save tonight for me. Haven't made any plans, have you?
Oh, no.
Well, she was just about to, though. She didn't know it, but she was.
Huh? Oh, that's all right, my boy. We can let you in on this, too. You see, I've got a new penthouse apartment that needs a bit of housewarming. I'm asking all the cast up tonight.
A penthouse?
Yeah. Is it okay, Margie? Can you come up?
Well, yes, of course. Where is it?
I gave Myrtle the address a few minutes ago. Can't get a cast completed in the penthouse all in one day without doing something to celebrate, can we? Wait till you see the night view you get from my terrace. 38th floor, and the city spread out like a map.
What a man. Bing, bing, bing.
She's moved into a penthouse apartment already.
Why do you say it that way?
Jimmy, I'm probably being very silly, but I don't like that man.
Why not?
I don't know exactly, but I don't trust him.
Well, why, Margie?
I don't know, but I'm very glad I didn't let you give him any of your money, Jimmy. He works too fast to suit me.
Are Myrt and Jimmy wrong about Bellerton White? And is Margie right? Or is her feeling simply the result of the disillusionment Lee Kirby caused? Will she have reason to change her mind about him at the penthouse party tonight? And can White keep Myrt's and Jimmy's secret from her? Don't miss tomorrow's episode. And now, Margie?
You know, friends, it's only natural for us women to envy others who have more modern conveniences than we have. The very latest washing machine, for example. But there's one consolation. Thanks to concentrated super suds, the wash that we hang on the lines will be just as white and bright as anybody's. Because, you see, concentrated super suds in the blue box washes clothes a gleaming, brilliant white in any type of washing machine. And in tubs, too. Yes, this amazing new soap, concentrated super suds, gives layer upon layer of rich, energetic suds. Suds that soak dirt-free in as little as 10 minutes. That's why you get cleaner, whiter clothes in less time with less work.
We are so sure concentrated super suds in the blue box is the finest soap you have ever used that we make this guarantee. Get a package and test it against any other soap. If you don't agree, concentrated super suds gives better results. Just mail the empty carton to Concentrated Super Suds, Jersey City, New Jersey. Colgate-Palmolive Peat Company will send you double your money back. Won't you join Myrt and Marge at the same time tomorrow? Hilltop House is on the air in 30 seconds. The story of one woman's devotion to the children in her care and her fight for their happiness.